What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at some of the Night Wanderer Japanese lists that have been doing well over there. The Shrouded Fable set has been leaked or released over in Japan for a little bit now, and their locals have been going under full swing. So for those of you who are playing in the World Championships or just playing locals coming up here, probably bored of the format that we've been seeing time and time again. Gardevoir, Lost Box, Lugia, Iron Hands, whatever. You know, same old, same old. So let's see if there's any spicy new decks that have come out in the time being, and we'll just see what we have to look forward to before Japan gets their hands on Stellar Miracle, whatever that set name is in Japanese, and then they go on and so forth to the wilderness. But I just wanted to take a look at some of these. I just pulled up a couple of days. You guys can go to Pokeka Book as well and do your own research. It's probably one of the easiest sites to navigate. They just post usually winning lists from a majority of like small tournaments. If it's a little bit of a bigger tournament, they might post a little bit of a like a bigger list. They usually just post the gym winners, and basically gym battles are like locals. It's like the effect of playing just a local, I guess, for the most part. So these aren't like the most serious lists. I just want to take a look at some of them today while we're just chilling and having a good time. So first up, we have, I know it's really small, we have Macargo, which is I believe Macargo EX is, let me pull it up for everyone as well. Macargo EX from Crimson Haze says that as long as this Pokemon is, it's just stage 1 fire type, 270, and then for fire colorless, does 70 and the active is burned. For fire colorless, 140, and each player discards the top, and if there's a fire on top, or sorry, any energy on top, 140 for each energy discarded that way. So you can kind of set your top card with the stadium. Here, the Academy Stadium, where it says put a card from your hand on top of your deck, so you can get a bunch of fires into your hand, put it on top. You're guaranteed a 280 for 3, which is a pretty good cost. And then if you get something on your opponent's end, it's kind of funny because it's like a high rolled. So, a funny little Macargo deck if you guys are interested. Ogerpon, one over there as well in locals. Ogerpon with just the gang here. It's just the squad of Ogerpons. You have the teal mask, the change of mask to swap your Ogerpons in and out. 1 water, 1 fighting, a couple of luminous, and a legacy to be able to use our Cornerstone and Wellspring effectively. And we have Ditto as well to get the right one, whichever we want, into the active on the correct turn, basically immediately, on the beginning of the game. And then we have Bug Catching Net to basically go through our whole deck, find all the pieces we need, and set up from the back of that. Another cool one here we have is that Rabska Fortress Dusknoir. Not entirely sure what any of this does. Let's look up Rabska TCG together. I don't think this is Rabska, actually. Maybe it is. No, I don't think that's what this card is. Brambleghast, I think, maybe. TCG is what it's... Yeah, Brambleghast. Okay, Brambleghast says 50 plus HP for each prize card our opponent's taken. So we build 1 big tank, and then we go 80 plus 80 for each. Oh no, we flip a coin for each energy attached to Brambleghast. So we just build a big Brambleghast or 2 Brambleghasts, and we just, I guess, go in after giving our opponent prize with Dusknoir and Fortress. And we just have a robot to find all our pieces. This is a cute little deck, and you have reversal energies to just load up our Brambleghast. Brambleghast gets a bunch of coin flips, and then we can try to run away with the game. I don't know, this is a cute deck, but if Brambleghast ever gets knocked out, it just feels really hard to play the game, I guess. But I guess the idea is that it can... I mean, I guess your Brambleghast maxes at like 350 HP on a Brambleghast, which is pretty high, but you probably need at least 2 Brambleghasts to attack with, maybe 3 Brambleghasts. So like making it a 250 HP attacker doesn't seem too bad, actually, in my opinion. Then we have... This is a Dusknoir, like, Slowbro deck, where basically we're just playing down to the 1 prize card. We're playing from behind the whole time until we want to get down to that 2 prize card instance, and our opponent has 1 prize card, and we use Slowbro to take our last 2 and end the game. Here we have another instance of a Dark Box deck with the new Shrouded Fable attackers, Monkey Dory, Fezandipiti, and Okie Dokie, all making an appearance with the Peturant and Darkrai EX. Basically just, V-Star, setting up just a board of... we're going to keep spamming you with the Janines and the attacks with the Mochi. Pretty cool looking Dark Box deck if that's an idea you guys want to try out. Another build here, just without the Darkrai, just a more consistent standard, straightforward with the Monkey Dory being the main attacker, it looks like, because Monkey Dory acts as a 1 prize attacker. Obviously, it does not work if it dies from poison or other conditions in between turns. Charizard, an old favorite, looks like here paired with the Dusknoir. The barrel has made its exit in this list. There's a Xerosic Scheme, reducing our opponent's hand low when need be. There's a Prime Catcher as well. Kind of just a stock standard list, I feel like. I think Charizard, for the most part, is one of those decks that always comes down to a lot of the cards are very similar across all the builds, because if they put a Charizard and a Pidgeot and a Lumineon and all this stuff into the deck, it's gonna basically look the same across the board. Another Charizard build here with the Fezandipiti instead of the Lumineon. Defiance Belt and Unfair Stamp, kind of deciding to play from you knock me out, I'm going to stamp you, I'm going to set up, I'm going to go ahead and get in your face. 2 Duskull, giving you better access to getting your Dusknoir up and running, including a Heavy Ball, so we have access to all the Pokemon that can potentially be prized as well. Another Charizard build, this one has the Dusknoir and the Barrel, basically putting everything we want in the deck with a Max Belt as well. So where the cuts are going to come in is probably supporters. Yeah, you can already see there's only 2 Iono and 2 Boss, but there's also a Roxanne, so I actually don't know what got cut to make space for something like this. Maybe there's a Stadium. Yeah, every time I look at a Charizard list, I'm like, I don't know what got cut. More Charizard here. We have 2 Rotom and a Lost City in this one. And then Regidrago, one of the new hot contenders on the block. It's got the Haxorus and the Kyurem, adding to its bolster of attackers like Dragapult and Goodra, some of the more powerful attackers that the game has ever seen. Scoop Up Cyclone being a pretty insane A-spec for recycling your Drago when it's under duress, with some E-switches here and there, or you can pick up a Teal Mask that could be in trouble with your E-switches as well. Pretty consistent deck, pretty good deck in general. We see a couple of builds here as well. This one playing the Tina V-Star for probably the mirror match and just 280ing big attackers. This guy or Raging Bolt is probably a good inclusion to have in that slot. Here we have the Noivern. This one's playing the Noivern and the Radiant Alakazam, probably to have a better matchup into the Raging Bolt deck, especially including the Penny. Lost City, an interesting addition, because I guess you can take out a threat like Manaphy and then be able to use Cura multiple times in a game. Wow, the lists are getting wilder and wilder as we move on. We have Gardenia's Vigor. We have Cologne here. We have Bolt in this list. Only one Dragapult, Kyurem, Haxorus. The whole kit, the whole group is still here. We have Dragapult EX. Dragapult just, this is Dragapult Pidgeot. It's got the Neo Upper. It's got Jamming Tower. It's got a bunch of other cool little stuff in here. Nothing crazy to write home about. But another Dragapult here. Dragapult Comfey version. You have the Lance here, which is an interesting addition to, I guess, get your Dragon types up and running. But I think I would always rather be Colressing if you're going to play it in the Lost Box version. But there's no Sableye in this build. So I don't actually know how this... I think this is just actually just a Dragapult deck that has like Comfey as an engine, as opposed to a Comfey deck that has Dragapult in it, if that makes any sense from where I was going. So I don't know. It seems interesting. Another Dragapult deck here. This one's got the Sableye and it's got the Blood Moon Ursaluna, which I think are both really good cards. Legacy Energy is probably the most questionable A-spec I see in here. Like, I feel like Prime Catcher, Stamp, I don't know, Max Belt even, are all just better. Then we have another Dragapult here with the Xatu and the Pidgeot, but this one has Neo Upper, which is weird because with the Xatu, I assume that the A-spec is going to be either Prime Catcher or Stamp, because you already have Xatu to accelerate the Psychics. So I don't think you really... the issue isn't necessarily that you need to accelerate the energy, and you have a Mela as well in this build. So I don't really understand why we have all these pieces all at once, but maybe our player here is just really concerned about getting the attack off. Dragapult Xatu here again with the Prime Catcher, Fezandipiti, and the Barrel. Fezandipiti seems like a very easy inclusion for a deck like this. When something gets knocked out, you just get to keep filling your hand, and with a combo deck like this that can use Xatu and just like keep accelerating to your board and set up, this seems like a really obvious inclusion moving forward. Fezandipiti just seems like a good inclusion. Let's look at some of these Raging Bolts decks. We see Raging Bolts, one of the more aggressive decks. Adding Fezandipiti is a great inclusion for it now, because Raging Bolt getting Ionoed low is like one of the ways it loses quite a bit at the time. But now if you get Ionoed to like 1 or 2, you get another +3 with Fezandipiti, and +3 is probably all you need to find that Sada when you're using your Pal Pad, putting them back into the deck, getting your energies going. Even hitting an energy off those, you can go ahead and use your Greninja or a Teal Mask and just keep accelerating and keep drawing and keep accelerating and keep drawing. Like, it's one of those decks where like you think you're done drawing cards, but you just keep drawing cards, and it's just kind of insane. There's a different version here with the Palkia, but I think that's just got to be worse than the Teal Mask in every regard, because you just have only very little blow-up potential, and Sandy Shocks doesn't seem great with the activation abilities. Yep, another list here. Gardevoir is still well alive and kicking. It's got this new Cresselia in there that does a lot of damage. We've got the Turo Sinnoh double Evo. Very similar package to what everyone's been playing. This list has 3 Gardevoir, which is really weird because you have 3 Gardevoir plus 2 Rod and True Drifloon. So we're really committing to not going weird like across the board with attackers and just committing to what we have here and hoping it works. But this is what a more traditional build would look like with the Flutter Mains or Flutter Mane, Screamtail, Drifloon, Munkidori, Cresselia, Mimikyu, all the good stuff. There's 2 Devo in here, which is really aggressive, but I think that's probably for the Charizard matchup. I like that. You know, it's kind of cool. Everything else also makes sense to me. And then we have Paldean, Chien-Pao coming in. This one's playing Palkia, probably to try to deal with Dragapult or just this stuff like that. I don't know. Palkia is an interesting inclusion. Fezandipiti, I think, makes a lot of sense for this deck because if you can get the Fezandipiti down early enough, then when you're losing your barrels and stuff, you just get to draw 3 for free anyway. And that's just pretty insane, I think, in the grand scheme of this deck specifically. Not every deck, but this deck, I think those 3 cards could just change your game because it's kind of what Bibarel does anyway. So having both Bibarel and like Fezandipiti in play just makes it harder for your opponent to eliminate all the threats and ways for you to draw cards. That version did not have a way to use Iron Hands. This one does here, and it also has the Tomb, probably for all Luminion decks like Lugia specifically. I was trying to think of another deck that uses Luminion efficiently, but I think Lugia is the only one that's coming to mind. Because I also saw Lugia as the next deck. And we see Lugia here, Fluttermane to deal with the Iron Thorns potentially, 3/3 Chinchino, the Iron Hands, the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Everything looks pretty stock standard here, jamming towers for the Gardevoir matchup. Yeah. And this one here is playing Radzard, which I think is like super cope because you need to get down to 1 prize and have to use either Legacy, or it uses Legacy early, I guess, but you have to use your Luminous energy to make this actually work, like in a reasonable manner. And I just would never ever be able to do that. I think it's just such a. I guess they have a Thornton in the list, but that's just, it feels like insane cope. Another Lugia list. This one has a Vitality Band, playing like a colorless build, no hands, which is weird. Even though you have the legacies, like why not just play the hands anyway? But we see that there's a Snorlax in here, kind of taking it back to old school colorless build a little bit, but nothing to write home about. Energy Box as well here. Playing a Stamp, which is a really interesting addition, and 2 Great Tusk. Most lists look like they've been playing the Walking Wake because it's an easy retreater with the 1-cost retreat, and Secret Box because Secret Box kind of gets you up and running and discards a bunch of cards for you early, as opposed to even the Drum. So I'm really interested to see how the Stamp actually does something here. What's the cap here? We have, so 1 has to be here, so 3, 7, 9, 11, 15, 19, 23, 27. So we're capped at 340. So we can knock out a Charizard if push comes to shove. It's just going to be really tight. And that's all that matters. You got to knock out a Charizard. Giratina is still not dead, despite everyone's best efforts. Fezandipiti is a pretty cool card for it as well because you get to refill your hand. But Fezandipiti, I mean, with Tina, you're already putting out a bunch of 2 prizes anyway. So it's like Fezandipiti plus Tina is not really the biggest end of the world by putting them all down at once, because you still get to draw cards and keep going after a late game Iono or a early game Stamp that could just cripple this deck setup, because Tina is one of those decks that needs a setup compared to Lost Box that can just recover instantly off the bat. And this one does not have one, just a normal deck. And then we see Gholdengo coming in hot with Palkia. A 1/2 Palkia is very interesting. That and a Kyurem, I guess, just for teching for the Lost Box matchup. And then you have Fezandipiti as well, help you draw cards. Fezandipiti, another great card for this deck, which relies on drawing a lot of cards, just getting the ball rolling. As you can see, this is probably going to be one of the better cards that has been released for this deck specifically, or set. Then we have Moon, just Roaring Moon, like aggressive attacking. Fezandipiti, you have Peturant to help move your moons easier, so you don't need like a switch card, or you have 1 less switch effect needed. And it's just Moon. Like it's just got all the aggression that a deck should need. 2 Squawkabilly, Fluttermane to get around Thorns. Like just this whole deck is cool. It's a cool deck. Big fan of the aggressive deck. And then finally we have Snorlax coming in with 2 Cornerstone Ogerpons, making it really tough for Charizard to actually win that matchup. 4 Hammers, 3 Flutes, a pretty aggressive build. It's got the Xerosix, the new card that reduces the hand size. So yeah, overall it's a pretty cool time over in Japan. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Just a little bit of look on Japan while we're doing a lull with content. I'm trying to figure out what to do for the rest of content stuff. So let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see. I have more tournament reports coming up as I go to more challenges. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.